Namaste everybody. In this eighth part of the Mahābhārata series, I am going to address an important doubt that is going on in your minds. Why the Mahābhārata dates are different for different researchers while they use the same set of astronomy references. For this, I'll give you one sample case. Here I am giving the details about the astronomy references or planetary references in the life of a person. The person's date of birth I am not giving. Right? In Mahābhārata also, this kind of references are given in bits and pieces. From that only we are finding out the year of the war. That is the methodology of all the researchers except me. See the exalted Venus, for example. It will be given like that. So you should know what is exalted, and you should also know that it is about astrology. Exalted Venus was approached by Angharaka while Saturn was moving towards Rohini. A life-changing event happened. When did it happen? The debilitated Saturn, you should know what is debility. Afflicted by retrograde Mars. What is retrogression? You should not assume that it is like crossing the ecliptic. While Moon and Mercury were weak in Purva Bhadrapada. Why? Causing untold misery to people. What does it mean? Then Sun and the Moon afflicted by Rahu. Immediately you imagine that it is an eclipse. Not necessarily. And Saturn was afflicted by Mars, while Mars afflicted Prajapati star suffered a lot. This person, you have to find out the year of birth of this person. I give you a challenge. I give it as a challenge to all the researchers also, because this kind of planetary, I don't want to use the word astronomy, planetary references, because there is no astronomy, it is all astrology. So these kind of planetary references are there in the Mahābhārata, from which only they are finding out the year. And particularly three years, three researchers, three sets of researchers I am showing. 3067 BCE, many researchers, 5661 BCE, and then 3162 BCE. You must be knowing whom I am referring to. Let me take up 3067 BCE, for which the original researcher, he picked up Saturn in Rohini without any cross-checking, without making sure whether the text talks about Saturn in Rohini between 3500 and 500 CE. And he found there are 137 times this has happened, that Saturn was in Rohini. And also Angharaka was in Jyeshta, was nearing Jyeshta. So this kind of combination, when did they happen? He checked the astronomy simulator, which is redundant according to me, which I have shown in the previous parts. 3271, 3067, 2830, like this many years he got. Further, he used the eclipses without knowing whether they were eclipses or not. He zeroed in on the year 3067 BCE, which his followers also followed. So this is a kind of the next 5661 BCE, you know very pretty well. This is about the epoch of Arundhati, running for some 6,000 years, which already proved that it was not a primary evidence nor even a secondary evidence, because it's not found in anything, but he found it in the astronomy simulator between this year and this year for 6,000 years, and in between he zeroed in on 5561 BCE arbitrarily. Why that 5561 BCE? There should be some reason, no? After fixing that date, he is picking and fitting the planetary combinations, but it all turns out to be unfit. Two popular examples you will know of his research: Balarama's pilgrimage, all ulta. The day the plus planetary, that is, the stars have been just changed. And then Bhishma's stay on the arrow bed for 58 days, which Bhishma himself says, I mean, making it as a pramana, which you cannot violate. But he has violated. He has just given some date. Even in Ramayana, this Ram Setu date was very uncomfortable for him. So remove Ram Setu, find out some new Ram Setu, find out some new place called Lanka, and all people happily believe it, because our people have no knowledge of this. That is the very biggest sorry thing that is happening to us, I should tell you. And then there is this is a 3162 person, and he has got this date from Aihole inscription in the Common Era, that is in some 5th or 6th century. That is Chalukya Pulication's time it was made. So based on that, and also he talks about the Shaka era, 583. There is no such Shaka era that you have been using, but he just picks up here, there, everything. Makes a kind of avial, mix up everything. Lot of things he will give, but none of them, half of them, even majority of them, we will not be following in our life. And whatever people say, he just picks up. That's all. And then he even claims that Kali Yuga is not told in any literary references, but recently Dr. M.L. Raja has proved through his two-part books released by the Raj Bhavan of Tamil Nadu by means of 912 inscriptions showing the date of Kali Yuga as 3101 BCE. But they don't care. But finally, he has arrived at a range initially. Initially, he was telling it could be 3128 BCE, then 3169 BCE. Finally, he arrived at 3162 BCE based on the Aiholy inscription. Once again, the pick and unfit of all the eclipses and planetary references to that. So, this is what you are seeing. Now, the challenge. Sample case I have given. In the same way only that pick and fit or unfit planetary combinations are here. You have to find out. These researchers have to find out the year of birth of this person. Can you find out? Tell me. Those who know astrology will know whether they can find out the year of the birth of a person by having this kind of planetary combinations. You should, but in fact, in reality, what the people used to say, you give the year of birth, date of birth. The date of birth should be correct. Only then you will be able to produce the correct planetary combinations related to the events in the person's life. But here it is just opposite of it. From this, they are just trying to find out which is impossible. And the example case is your astrology or your sample case I am showing here. I am throwing up this challenge to you. Can you find out the year of this person? If you find out, please write it in the comment section. Otherwise, in the next part, I will talk about it. And I will tell you that a Mahābhārata does contain references to find out the year. Then only you will be fitting in the planetary positions. And before leaving, I once again I request you to share it widely with your friends and others. Thank you.